Alright, so before we start today's video, just a couple of quick notes. If you guys want to chat with me, debate with me, talk about, Naruto, Boruto, Dragon Ball Super, whatever it is, feel free to join the Discord server. I'm going to leave the link down below. Also, I have a lot of videos coming up like Senrigan Explained. I have some collabs with It's Meek going on, and some Boruto versus Kawaki theories that I'm gonna be uploading. So if you guys like more videos like that, don't forget to comment, subscribe, and let's jump straight into it. Alright, so Naruto has had a major impact on the Shinobi world. What should we be expecting from the remaining characters and the further story points after he dies? First of all, after the death of Naruto, I think Shikamaru or Sakura would probably take the new role of Hokage. I think Shikamaru has the brains, but not as much as the brawn. If it were to be one, I think it would probably be Sakura. They could temporarily regress back to Kakashi, but I think that they would eventually move on with like Sakura. She could fill a role very similar to that of Tsunade when she was in office. As much as I want to see Konohamaru as Hokage, he's simply just too young. He doesn't have any of the feats or strength or wisdom that would bring him up to that level of Hokage yet. He would need to get significantly buffed, or something would need to happen, much like Kakashi did from the original franchise moving into Shippuden. He got significantly stronger. Sasuke is a little bit more of a loner who gathers intel for the village, so I don't really think he would fill that role of Hokage, although he is definitely strong enough to fill in that role. And it's kind of been foreshadowed that Naruto will die or be sealed away with the statements that Kawaki said in the beginning of the Boruto franchise. So if we take these statements that he says at face value, and don't include any potential theories or things that I can cover in another video, if we just take it at face value from what we're looking at in the beginning of the show, I don't really see Sasuke living too long after Naruto. Naruto and Sasuke are like yin and yang, in the sense that they always fight together, they always go down together, kind of like when they fight against Momoshiki, they win together, or against Jigen, they lose together, you know what I mean? Without these two major powerhouses, the village is going to be very vulnerable, very unstable, very vulnerable to attacks, which is probably why we see those destroyed Hokage faces in the beginning of the show. All of the current Genin will probably be a little bit older due to the time skip that's going to be soon coming up, and will probably be like Chunin or Jonin at that level, and will be the next generation trying to protect the village, right? The main powerhouses, with the exception of Boruto and Kawaki, after the time skip will probably be Mitsuki with his Sage Mode and some of Orochimaru's abilities, and Sarada with obviously some sort of physical power amp, much like we see like, Tsunade, and then when Sakura trained under her, I think Sarada's going to get something very similar to that, and enhanced Sharingan with definitely like 2 or 3 Tomo that we're going to see. If Sasuke ends up dying, she can end up developing a Mangekyo and a possible 100 healings jutsu later on. A lot of things are going to get passed down. I think we've already seen that with the beginning of Boruto, but I think we're going to see some advancements, and maybe even some new jutsus here and there. But I think those are definitely things that could get passed down to her. Again, it's going to be way too early for her to become Hokage, but she's definitely going to get a power amp towards the beginning of the time skip. Again, if we take these statements at face value from Kawaki, I would assume that this would harden and darken Boruto to the point where he has to take a path of revenge, much like Sasuke did against Itachi. This is especially a prominent idea as Boruto seems to be following in Sasuke's path a little closer than Naruto's, as his role and Sarada's are like the reverse of Naruto and Sasuke, right? As a result, there's a lot to be speculated from Kawaki as he kind of has a huge love for the Hokage and like a disdain for everything else. So it's kind of difficult to determine what this whole fight would be about. Again, I'm going to cover some Boruto versus Kawaki theories in a separate video, but as far as the side characters and like the other minor plot points, I think that's what's going to be going on. I think this could be happening. I kind of feel like Sakura is going to be filling in the role for a little bit. I don't know exactly what's going to happen to Kakashi. Obviously, he's going to stay in the village, try to help it out as much as he can, but we're going to see some significant damage happen to the Hidden Leaf. I feel like something similar to what happened in the Pain Assault might happen again. It's not the first time we've seen Konoha be crushed by invaders, so I feel like definitely something significant is going to happen in the village. I see a lot of deaths happening because that's going to be a darker point in Boruto's life, and like as we see that they say in the beginning of the show, the Shinobi age is over. So what does that mean? They're moving on to a new era. That could mean that a lot of the previous generation has already passed away, or people are moving away from becoming ninjas, or they're all deceased now. So it's kind of hard to tell at this point. Anyways, if this does end up happening, it's going to be very depressing, way worse than Kurama dying. it's gonna be a huge blow to everybody in the league. It's gonna be a huge blow to Kakashi, you know, seeing his student pass away. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing these interactions if this does end up happening, and I hope that they make him go down fighting. You know what I mean? Again, there's not a whole lot to cover now because a lot of it's just kind of speculation. But if you guys like more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to join the Discord. I'm gonna leave the link down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.